39715. 397.
The one-time pad. It's an age-old method of passing encrypted messages between two parties. It's a dying art that has recently been revived, and we've used it a lot in the past in training and exercises on Radio Free Redoubt and non-ham radio activities across Amron. And it's something we will be reinvigorating in the very near future and beyond. When used properly, the one-time pad facilitates the creation of unbreakable encrypted message traffic. But producing the pads in a truly secure fashion is cumbersome and time-consuming. Typical modern computers can speed this process up, but they also have so many attack surfaces that a one-time pad produced on one must be assumed to be compromised, especially when used for real-world life or death information. Even an air-gapped computer is exploitable by modern electronics intelligence tools from a short distance away, or physically if it falls into the wrong hands by being captured, confiscated, lost, or stolen. So that brings us to the old-fashioned method of rolling dice, which can be tricky. 10-sided dice simplifies the process of producing truly randomly generated numbers, 0 through 9, for a secure one-time pad, but again, it's cumbersome and time-consuming, especially for producing multiple pads or pads large enough to be practical and useful for real-world applications. That has all changed. Amron Dark Labs computer code engineers have been working for the last year developing a secure, truly random numbers generator for producing and printing one-time pads in the field, on the go, and with portability in mind, and in as ruggedized and compact form as practical while keeping the cost as low as possible. It is here. Introducing the model ADL-1 OTPF. It's the Amron Dark Labs -1 one-time pad field machine. And this is one of 3 prototypes of the ADL-1, or simply the -1. The -1 has a custom programmed CPU with no attack surfaces such as USB ports or storage memory. All of the processes are operating in RAM, and one-time pad data produced are gone forever, non-reproducible, non-recoverable after the unit is powered down, or after 5 minutes of inactivity. It will come in a hard polymer weatherproof watertight case for protection and easy portability. There are no commands, keyboards, or monitors. The only operator inputs are the 4 buttons for selecting options, producing the pad, and printing the pads that you'll create. There are 2 ways to power the unit. The first is by 2 internal rechargeable 18650 lithium-ion batteries included at 2400 milliamps each, for a total of 4800 milliamps to adequately power the thermal paper printer for printing dozens and dozens of one-time pads. In testing, continuous printing of 1,000-digit pads was done going through 6 full rolls of printer paper using depleted batteries right out of the box from the factory without giving them a full charge, and the batteries still had plenty of power to keep going. So the batteries included with the -1 will be adequate for most all normal field operating situations. The -1 does not come with a battery charger, but most Amron operators already have, or should have, battery chargers, such as this Nightcore Digi charger that you see here, for example. The battery cover in this prototype is secured by a flange on the back side and a screw on the front side, but the battery compartment covers on the production models will be secured by 2 flanges for easy squeeze and lift of the cover to access the batteries. The second option for powering the -1 is with the 12-volt barrel plug port for use with your own external power source between 10 to 15, even up to 20 volts output. Powering the unit on and off is done using a simple rocker switch located on the left, just forward of the battery compartment cover and external power input jack. When you power the unit on, you'll see 2 LED lights on the control panel light up, and the ready for service light on the printer will begin blinking. Before we get into the functions, notice also that in the upper right-hand corner is a slot for a spare roll of printer paper. Now let's go through the options and operation of the -1. As you can see, we've made this as simple to operate as possible with only 4 input buttons for producing your one-time pads. Beginning on the left, the first button allows you to choose the size of your pad. After selecting the size of your pad, the second button generates the pad, And the third button is where you select your printer options. As a side note, the LED lights in the prototype are extremely bright. The LEDs in the production models will be softened down considerably. The top selection, which will print only the pad, is set as the default print option when you power the Dash 1 on. Pressing the print option button will light up the second LED and will print your pad plus the codecs for use with encoding and decoding plain text. And pressing the print option button again will allow you to print just one-time pad instructions. This is a helpful feature if your skills have gotten a bit rusty or you're working with someone who is not as experienced with one-time pads. Notice that the green LED Print Ready light comes on when you select Instructions from the Printer Options menu. That is because it has nothing to do with generating or printing a one-time pad. You can print just the instructions now. Now, let's see how generating and printing a one-time pad works. Over on the left, at the pad size option button, you can see that the 250-digit one-time pad is lit up. This is the default pad size when you power the unit on. If you want a larger pad, press the size option button to select a 500-digit pad, and then again to select a 1,000-digit pad. For this example, we'll just print out a 250-digit one-time pad. After you've selected the desired pad size, you press the Generate button to generate a new unique randomly generated one-time pad. The LED light above the Print button will flash while the numbers are being generated, and then go to solid green to indicate that the new pad is ready to print. Press the Print button, and the pad is quickly and immediately printed out on the printer. That pad is now sitting in RAM, and you can keep pressing the print button to print as many copies of that specific pad as many times as you need. The numbers will sit in RAM until either A, you power the unit down, or B, 5 minutes of no activity or inputs takes place. In either case, once the unit is powered down or the 5 minutes lapses, the one-time pad you just created is wiped irretrievably and gone forever. Also, if you change the pad size or select the instructions in the print options menu, the green print light will go off and the pad that was sitting in RAM is wiped forever. Once a one-time pad is wiped, the mathematical statistical odds of the same numbers and that pad being produced again is so astronomical, you'd have better luck winning the lottery every week for 5 years. Another feature with the 5-minute automatic wipe is that the print button LED light will begin flashing 30 seconds prior to the wipe, or at the 4-minute 30-second mark, in case you still intended to print more copies of the current pad and got distracted doing something else. It's a heads-up feature to let you know that the pad is about ready to go away forever. Besides rolling dice, there's not another known secure one-time pad generating method, especially one that can produce random number generated one-time pads so quickly out there in the private sector that we're aware of. The Dash 1 has none of the attack surfaces for exploitation that a typical laptop would have. For example, there's no Wi-Fi, no USB ports, no hard drive, and no operating system. No way to exploit the unit from the outside without getting into the CPU on the inside, which would be a fairly extensive and invasive operation requiring unusually high levels of expertise. The process for producing each one-time pad is fairly complex, using a true random numbers generator combined with a process involving continuously generated entropy using open source SHA-3 through what is called a KCAC sponge, creating hashing algorithms. Numbers are extracted that then are processed through SHA-2 512 hash, and there's a lot more involved in that, but the bottom line is that this machine will truly produce randomly generated numbers that cannot be backward engineered or patterned in order to predict future number sequences. The pads that are produced are all numerical digits in 5-digit groups, 5 groups per line. A 250-digit pad has 10 lines. The 500 and 1,000-digit pads have 20 and 40 lines respectively. Notice there is a number that is produced in the upper left-hand corner of each printed pad. That is the first 5 digits of the pad and serves as the serial number or pad number for that particular pad. That can also be used as the key ID at the beginning of an encrypted message. Although, as most of you know, you can begin a message at any place on the pad that you choose, so long as you use the set of numbers just before the point on the pad that your message is to begin as the key ID, so the recipient knows where on the pad to begin decrypting. You'll notice also that there's something at the bottom of the pad. E-D plus T/K. That is a little cheat code to help you when encrypting or decrypting a message. Encrypt, subtract. To decrypt, add. And text over key. In other words, the numbers from your one-time pad go underneath whatever you're encrypting or decrypting. So, when will these go into production? That depends on you. Several $100s and man-hours have gone into producing the very first prototype. In order to get the price breaks from the component suppliers, then orders in much larger quantities are necessary. That will keep the cost to the end user, you and me, as low as we can make it. Right now, without ordering components in bulk, the cost of building one of these units is over $500. However, we have a very supportive party in the Patriot Preparedness community who has stepped forward to help and has offered to front the money to get the components ordered in quantity to get bulk pricing. That would bring the cost of each unit down to a sticker price of just $149.95 plus shipping. That's the cost to the end user, $149.95. Here's the catch. This party who's offered to front the money put one caveat on the deal. We must have at least 30 pledged sales. In other words, you don't need to pay right now, but simply pledging, saying, absolutely, I want one, put me down for one. When they're ready, I'll take one. Now, this investing party will front the money when we have 30 people pledging to buy an ADL-1 OTP field model. When we get 30 pledges, they release the funds. We place the order for all of the components for the production models. The completion of the first production models would then be projected to begin shipping out to you in January 2018, about 8 to 10 weeks from now. Right now, all we're asking for are pledges. That's it. But if you pledge, that means you're making a commitment. You don't have to pay for your unit until it's ready to ship. Once you pay, it ships. Several payment options will be available. Of course, we'll accept PayPal, but this is a security-related item, and so anonymity and security will likely be a high priority to you, the user. So we can correspond via PGP encrypted email or any other secure method. Most payments should be made using the drop mail address on our donate page, the P.O. Box to Rathdrum, Idaho, and those folks will get those orders to us. We will also be able to accept payment via cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. These will be drop shipped from inside the American Redoubt within 50 miles of the Amron Dark Labs to the shipping address of your choice. All packaging will be sanitized of any labeling besides the necessary shipping information, and all ordering information will be kept stored in an encrypted electronic vault and will be purged after your ADL-1 has shipped. To make your pledge, email me using PGP encryption at johnjacob@radiofreeredoubt.com. Type something innocuous in the subject line, but not one-time pad, or OTP, Dark Labs, Secret Squirrel, ADL-1, or pledge, etc. I'll acknowledge your pledge in an encrypted email, and we will send you updates. When the units are ready to ship, projected to be in the middle of January, we will notify you via encrypted email or whichever other method you've arranged with us in the future. And we're excited about this and other projects being developed, and we hope that you are too. We'll be using the one-time pads a lot more in the future. There's a bit of history and adventure in every box. Who wouldn't love to have one of these? I look forward to hearing from you. This is John Jacob Schmidt, out.